of Africa. In the last 1 year, in the Horn of Africa, we have lost 9.5 million heads of livestock to drought. And the same effects that you feel in Southern Africa and in Mozambique in particular, we have the same ravaging effects of climate change. And I want to thank you, Mr. President, for agreeing for us to come and consolidate our position, our thoughts, and our ideas in the Africa Climate Summit that will be held in Nairobi from the 4th to the 6th of next month, as a way of Africa positioning itself, not just as a victim, but also as a place where we can provide solutions, because indeed we believe we have the necessary resources, renewable energy resources, mineral resources, and we have the human capital to provide mechanisms for solutions to climate change, including green growth and mechanisms to decarbonize industrialization and manufacturing globally using the resources we have in this continent. Your Excellency, I look forward to receiving you in Nairobi. As I told you, we would really value your input even ahead of the summit. We are going to share with you the concept notes and the proposed declaration so that we can all consolidate our ideas even as we go to the UN General Assembly and also to COP28. We have asked the presidency of COP28 to participate in the event in Nairobi so that we can begin to inform the outcome of what is going to be in UAE later this year. Your Excellency, let me conclude by congratulating Mozambique for taking up the non-permanent seat in the UN Security Council. We are very proud of the leadership that Mozambique is providing. We are happy that Kenya has worked with your team in New York. And just to confirm to you, Mr. President, as I did, that even though we supported Mozambique being the immediate former occupant of that space, Mozambique are doing better than we did. And I was telling you it's the case of the student being better than the teacher. So again, we appreciate your leadership in that space. And to speak to the global challenges around security that you have spoken to, which I fully associate with, whether it is in Ukraine or in Sudan. And Mr. President, I will brief you later on the discussions we are having under IGAD. I did speak to the President of Egypt a few days ago, and the President of Chad, and I did have an engagement with the President of Ethiopia, even as we provide leadership under the AU IGAD framework to resolve the issues in Sudan, because we believe that the conflict in Sudan is completely senseless and unnecessary. And the kind of destruction of life and property and infrastructure is not justified in any way. And the sooner that conflict comes to an end, the better. We are working collaboratively with the JEDA initiative, the IGAD AU framework, and also the neighbors framework under the chairmanship of Egypt, to consolidate all these initiatives. And this morning I spoke to former Prime Minister Hamdok, among the people leading the civilian groups that brings together political parties, civil society groups, women groups, youth groups, together to provide a comprehensive framework on how to resolve issues in Sudan and take the country to civilian rule, democratic civilian rule. And it is the same case, Your Excellency. In Niger, our collective position is that we support ECOWAS and the interventions that they are putting in place to make sure that we avoid and resist the slide into military dictatorships and unconstitutional removal of governments. Africa is a democratic continent, and we believe that Africa has sufficient democratic credentials to be able to manage the affairs of our countries with the legitimacy that comes from the people in democratic elections. And that is the only change of government through democratic elections that guarantees the aspirations of not just our individual countries, but the collective will of the people of this continent. And whatever means necessary that should be used to make sure that these democratic processes are sustained and maintained and protected should be brought to bear to stop those who want to use the barrel of the gun to run the affairs of countries or to manage the issues of our continent. Your Excellency, I once again thank you and the people of this great nation for